Hi everyone, and it's Jackanta. Today what I'm going to teach you, show you is very important lesson. It's called Android user interface development, right? So today, in the previous video lessons, I've showed you how to get started with Android. Now we are going with UI components, right? So compared with the other UI components, where there are lot of UI components such as buttons, text fields, and checkbox. So lot of things are there. But what you need to know here, that you can create UI in two ways. You can use an XML file, or you can directly jump and code in coding without using the XML file. So let's try the first one, right? Let's create a project. So we are going to try without XML now, right? So I'll show you how to do it with XML. Let's say Android UI test. Let's say Android UI, right? Finish. Okay, now you'll see compilation error here, right? Because there is nothing called R file in here. What you need to do, R file will be generated and it's mapped with this resource main XML file, right? So whatever the things that you put here will be converted into a Java file, right, saying r.java, and it will be converted again into a file called r.d, right? So let's see. Now you need to comment this line in order to see the generated output files, right? So you need to do this, unless it won't work. So first time comment this line and compile, then you will see two packages getting generated called r.java.d and r.java, right? So I'll open this file for you, and it's an auto generated file. Please do not modify this file, right? But I just want you to show that whatever the things you type here will be mapped with this r.java file. We'll see that later, right? So now if I uncomment this line, what will happen? Now it's getting compiled, right? Sorry. Okay, let me show you how to create a UI, how to create a button and assign it to a content view without an XML file. Let's say button p equals new button. I'm creating an instance of the button, right? And I'm setting the text saying click me, right? And make sure that you add the import there, and B, right? If you run this code, okay, now if you run this code, you will see a button covering the entire space. Why? Because we didn't use a layout. So if you have done swing, Java swing, so then you know what's the layout, right? So see, right? Anyway, when you add components to this one, so this button will the layout will be changed, right? So what I want to do, just keep it like this. And okay, now you can use the XML file here, right? And you can generate you can have this XML as a UI component, right? So you can add UI components here, and you can find you can give them an ID here, right? So if for an example text view, I can give an ID, and I can, rather than instantiating here, I can find the ID from here that you mentioned here, right? So let's try that one, right? So I'll use the same thing, Android ID, and remember this at plus ID, right? And slash, you need to give the ID. Let's say my text view, right? So this is my ID. Make sure that you compile again. Why it will not be updated here, right? So whatever the thing that you modify here, you need to compile after that, right? So I'll compile, right? So clean and build means you compiling, and see ID is getting generated, right? ID, and with this text field. See, now you can find it by ID. So r dot id dot my text view, right? So you need to cast it because it returns a view, right? So text view, and this should be a text view also. Sorry, import it, and that's it, right? Then you should not set the B, because you should set this main XML, right? So I mean, the way of accessing the XML is through this Java file, right? So layout dot main, right? Now run it and see. Okay, I'll modify this text to I am using XML, right? Okay, let's run the project and let's see what happens here. So I didn't create any text view instance. I'm using the XML file for this. See, it works, right? So this is very easy way of creating a UI, right? So let me show you now. There, I mean, now you don't need to for NetBeans you can use Gui Generation Tools. So I'm going to explain one of them right now. So let's see, right? So there's a software called DroidDraw, right? So you can get it by googling it, DroidDraw.org, right? This one. So you can create a UI online if you want, but if you want to be created by offline, so you can click this link, Windows, and then the Java file will be Java file and an exe file. So if you prefer the Java file, you can run that. If you prefer the exe, you can run that also, right? So you can create your UI manually if you want, right? Okay, anyway, I have downloaded the software, so I'm not going to use online UI development. So here I'm selecting the absolute layout, so then I can freely add things to here, right?